Hey guys! In the background you can hear a patch I've built using the Spectral Processor from Hora. I made an introduction video about it a while ago, and in this video I will share some patching ideas, starting from some simple patches and moving slowly to more complicated stuff. Let's start! Okay, so like I said, I made an introduction video about the Spectral Processor, and there will be a link in the description to this video and to all the different patches we will look at today. But just a short recap, the Spectral Processor is a 16-bed filter with 16 VCAs and envelope followers and some other cool features. And here in the first example, we have two waveforms coming out of the even VCO, a sawtooth wave and a square wave. The pulse width of the square wave is being modulated by the twin quartet LFO, also from Hora. The sawtooth wave is going to the odd input of the spectral processor, and the square wave is going to its even input. The even VCO is receiving pitch information from the grid sequencer from JW modules, and I've set both level pages of the spectral processor in such a way that in the A levels just the odd bands are activated, and in the B levels just the even ones are activated. Then, by modulating the morph knob of the spectral processor, again by the twin quartet LFO, we get a really nice organic sound morphing between the two waveforms and the different bands. We also have here the pure VCO, also from Hora, receiving also pitch information from another grid sequencer, so we can add a nice melody on top. Let's look at another example of using the morph knob. So here we have three FM operators from Bog Audio going to dedicated mono channels and mix together into a stereo channel, and from there they're going to both input of the spectral processor. Again, both level pages of the spectral processor are set in such a way that in each page just the even or the odd bands are activated. The FM operators are receiving pitch information from the triad sequencer from MSC Hack, and the triad sequencer is also receiving voltage from constants to its volt per octave offset input, so every now and then it goes up by 7 semitones. The twin quartet LFO is modulating again the morph knob of the spectral processor and also the feedback amount of all three FM operators. What I've also done here is sending the all output of the spectral processor to the filter from Hora, and the twin quartet is also modulating the cutoff point of the filter, and this is how it sounds like. So this time the spectral processor is morphing between the bands and creates a nice stereo effect, a moving sound, and movement is life, and with playing with the speed of the LFO we can create nice organ or Rhodes sounds. Let's move on to another example. In this example we will use the VCA inputs of the spectral processor. For each of the bands we have a VCA input, so we can control the level of the different bands with an external source. Again, we can use this to add movement to our sounds and make our patches much more organic and alive. So we have the pure VCO receiving pitch information from the Turing machine through quantum, and the second voltage output of the Turing machine is modulating the fold amount of the oscillator. The pure VCO is then going to both inputs of the spectral processor, and two 8FOs are modulating the levels of the different bands through their VCA inputs. This time, the all output of the spectral processor is going through the high-pass input of tangents to a delay, so we get a nice delay effect, but not on all the sounds. Let's look at another example using the VCA inputs, but this time with an audio rate modulation. So here we have three drum modules from Hora, a bass drum, a snare and a hi-hat. They all receive triggers from the topograph from Valley, and they are all being mixed to a stereo channel, and from there they're going to both inputs of the spectral processor. And again we have two 8FOs modulating the levels of the different bands, but this time not at low frequency, but in audio rate frequency, so fast that we can actually hear it. Again, the all output is going through a high-pass filter to a delay, but this time the delay, also from Hora, is a fast one to add some thickness to the sound. Let's listen to this, and I will also change the frequency of the LFOs, and I will add also the dry sound of the drums. Now let's move on to the envelope followers and the xfer function. So as you can see, this patch is much fuller. We have again some drum modules from Hora and another kick from Autodaffe. The Hora drum modules are again receiving triggers from the topograph, and again they are mixed into a stereo channel and are going to both inputs of the spectral processor. A really cool feature of the spectral processor are the 16 envelope followers, which allows us to have 16 different envelopes according to the levels of the different bands. Again, I recommend that you go ahead and watch the introduction video I made on the spectral processor. I go through each of its features in depth. We have here a bass sound coming from the even VCO, which goes through a filter to the fundamental VCA, and two envelopes from the spectral processor are modulating the level of the bass and the cutoff point of the filter. So let's listen shortly to the drums, which are also going directly to the mixer, and hear how the bass is being modulated. We also have two more even VCOs going through a VCA to Tohe from Volt, and the grid sequencer is sending pitch information through a multiplier, once directly to the volt per octave input of one even VCO, and once through the inverter in utilities from audible instruments to the second even VCO. So we have the original pitch and the inverted one to add some nice harmonies. We have three more envelopes coming out of the spectral processor. One is modulating the tone of Tohe, and two are modulating the levels of both even VCOs. Let's listen to this also and add also a kick. Now in order to use the envelope followers of the spectral processor, we have to raise the envelope amount, and this we can do in the envelope page, and when switching to the out page, we can see the levels of the different envelopes. Now let's look at another example using the xfer function. Okay, so the xfer function wires the different envelope followers to the VCA inputs internally. We have two modes, even to odd, so all the even envelope followers are driving the odd bands VCAs, and the second mode is odd to even, so all the odd envelope followers drive the even bands VCAs. In this case, we're using the second mode, odd to even. We have a drum loop sample going to the odd input through a combiner, and an even VCO outputting a sawtooth wave to the even input. I activated all the odd bands and made sure that their envelopes are also turned up. The even output, so the bass sound from the even VCO, is going through tangents to the mixer, and let's listen to the drums and how their envelopes affect the bass. The odd output of the spectral processor is going through the briatus and tangents to add some crispiness to the sound. And the all output is going to smoke, which is clouds in granular mode, to add some atmosphere. Now what I've also added is a pure VCO going to retardo, which is clouds in looping delay mode. Two envelopes from the spectral processor are modulating its frequency through its FM input and also its fold amount. It's receiving pitch information from the 12 key by impromptu modular, so I can play the melody live. Now retardo is in lo-fi mode, which means that there will be a delay until we can hear the changes in sound. Let's look at one more example, this time for modulating pitch. So what we have here, we have a noise generator from Bog Audio, sending white and pink noise to both inputs of the spectral processor, and both of its outputs are going to separate sample and hold units from South Pole, which means that a sample and hold will sample the signal it's receiving from the spectral processor. Now we have caudal from Volt, modulating the levels of the different bands, and 4 envelope followers are modulating the other remaining bands. The sample and hold units are sending the random voltage they're sampling through 2 quantizers to both volt per octave inputs of 2 pure VCOs, so we get an ever-changing random change in pitch. The all output of the spectral processor is going again to smoke to add some atmosphere, and a few envelope followers are modulating the fold amount, the wave shape, and the frequency of both pure VCOs. And this is how it sounds like. Okay guys, and that's it. There are many more ways of using the Spectral Processor. Go explore and share your findings with us. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the bell. And have a good one.